Welcome to today's tutorial. In this part of the tutorial, we'll be drafting the padding, okay, for our skirt. So I first of all went down by 1 inch. From that half-inch marking I had there, went down by 1 inch, and at my hip area I came in by 5 inches. Then the distance between my underbutt to my knee length, I had it at 4 inches and I divided it into 2. Okay, if you don't want to divide yours into 2, you can decide to come down by 2 inches, 3 inches, 1.5 inch. That is kind of optional, but I like to divide the distance between my underbutt to my knee length. I like to divide it into 2, okay, just to be on the safe side and not to have it too exaggerated. So having done that, I'll use my curved ruler to draw out the curve I have. This is the hip pad for the front. Okay, so just get the a shape that aligns. I had this shape, but I felt the down of my hip curve was a little bit curvy, so I just evened it out. Not that you cannot use it like that, it's just based on preference. Okay, so get the curve that works for you. This is all that is needed for our front part, for our front pad. Do not forget that there are no sharp edges, so even out every edge. And please, okay, I'm marking out that line to just show you that it's kind of unnecessary. So please do not forget to label this pattern. For this pattern, I think one of the main things I'll say is please always label. It's important to label. I have U for up, D for down, S for side, and I have that arrow that will indicate where I will join, because we are going to be drafting the hip pad for the back as well. Okay, so that arrow shows me that this is the point where I'll be joining the front and the back parts together. Okay, so we are done with our front parts. We move to the back, and I have my pattern here as well. Okay, so just pay attention, because the back, it's not difficult, it's just a little bit more detailed. Okay, so from that half-inch marking, come down by 1 inch, the same thing we did at the front. Then at the underbutt and knee length, divide it into 2, just as we did in the front as well, and mark it. So I have 2 inches. Okay, then on the hip, okay, the hip on the zipper allowance, that's the CB, where you have the center back, come in by 1 inch. Okay, so that is what you see me marking there. From that point, I came in by 1 inch, and then I just connected the lines. So you have 1 inch downwards at the top, the 2 inch in between the underbutt and the knee length, and then at the hip I just came in by 1 inch. Okay, so it means that the separation between both sides of the back, the separation between both sides, when you open it, is going to be 2 inches. That's what it means. Okay, so now I have a sharp edge, so I'm just using my marker to even it out. Please, like I said earlier, we don't want any pointed edges, so if you do have a pointed edge, ensure you use your marker to even it out. Okay, yes. And so we are done for the back. Can you see how simple it is? It's very simple. And let me just say that once you have the measurements right, you just do your markings. It's not, there's no exact shape it must be. For this part, you cannot say this is how it must look. Once you have your measurements right, you can work with it. Okay, so labeling, very important. That side where I have the arrow is where the parts are going to be joining together, and this other side I just labeled my side piece. Okay, I just labeled as S. Please feel free to label in a way you understand. Okay, and that's just the essence of labeling, what you understand. Okay, so I'm going ahead to cut off my pattern, and we have both parts ready. We have the front part, we have the back part all ready. And like I said, we cut it from the pattern that had my exact hip. The other pattern that has the extra hips is what we are going to use for the skirt. So can you see why we need 2 patterns? Yes, so we are done. And this is what we have. Okay, so when we are cutting on our foam, we are going to be cutting 2 pieces of this because what we have here is just for one side of the hip. Yeah, so this is it for this tutorial. I hope you learned. Stay tuned for my next video. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.